evening and welcome again to Biblical Insights with Bob. Tonight we're going to look again at the book of Romans. So, wait, what's going? What are you doing in there?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Dad. Yeah, you know what? I thought we'd do something a little different tonight.
I'm a little confused.
No, I totally understand, Dad. There's a lot going on behind the scenes here, so that's why I thought, with your permission, I would hijack the show tonight and we could do a production workflow walkthrough of everything that goes on to produce an episode of Biblical Insights. I'm actually quite confident that some of your viewers would find it quite interesting, and for me, quite honestly, I think it'd be a lot of fun. So what do you think?
Yeah, I guess it's fine.
Okay. I'll tell you what, it'd actually be a lot easier if you came around here and I took your seat. Yeah, good. Yeah, come on back around.
All right.
Oh, no, yeah, good. Come on. Yeah, come on in here, Dad. It's fine. Yeah, come on. Dad, it's fine. Come on in here. We're going to trade seats here. Yeah, you come back here and I'm going to... Perfect. Yeah. Excuse me. Pardon me. There you go. Have a seat. Ah, this is way better. Nice chair. You comfortable in there?
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Tell you what, Dad, let's take it from the top. Cue the music. Well, right off the bat, the first point of interest I want to point out to you guys is that the Biblical Insights theme music is actually a version of the hymn, Fairest Lord Jesus. This version of the song has been produced by a company called Digital Juice. Digital Juice is a subscription-based service that offers professional graphics, music, stock footage, and all kinds of production assets. Anyways, we love the instrumental version of this song so much that it kind of became our theme music. If you haven't been able to place this song yet, here it is with the vocals. Listen to this.
Fairest Lord Jesus, ruler of all nature, O thou of God and man the Son.
We start the production process every other Thursday when I make the long 3-mile journey and head over to Mom and Dad's house. Our shooting schedule is actually bi-weekly, but to increase the efficiency of our workflow, we shoot 2 episodes at a time, which allows us to still release an episode every week. I absolutely love having an ongoing project that I can work on with my dad. It's so incredibly cool to have this opportunity. Before I even arrive, Dad's already started to transform his office into the production studio by moving all of the production gear into his office. Speaking of production gear, let's take a closer look. In any production, lighting is critical. For both the main light, which is called the key light, and the fill light, we use Color Kinetics IW Blast 12s. These LED lights provide great quality lighting with 0 flicker. Each light puts out about 1600 lumens and has both adjustable brightness and color temperature. For light modifiers, we use a collapsible shoot-through diffusion panel on the key light and some Roscoe diffusion gel on the fill light. This helps to fill in the shadows and soften the image a little bit. For the background, we use a Digital Juice 256 Mini Burst LED light to add some warm color to the wall, and a Mini Burst 128 as an uplight in the corner to give the scene a little more depth. And lastly, we put a strip of color adjustable LED lights behind the desk. This adds some wraparound color, helps with texture and visual interest, and well, okay, who are we kidding? LEDs are just plain cool. We only use one camera for the entire production, and that camera is an iPhone 7 Plus. To record the video, I use an app called Filmic Pro. Filmic Pro offers more control over the camera settings than the iPhone's built-in camera app. We shoot at 24 frames per second and a shutter speed of 1/48 of a second. And although we publish Biblical Insights on YouTube at a resolution of 1920 by 1080, we shoot at a 4K resolution. Do me a favor and hang on to that tidbit of information. We will come back to it. When it's time to start shooting, we kill the overhead room lights and do a white balance using a collapsible exposure calibration disc. What this does is make sure that the color of the video is accurate and keeps us from having to do a lot of color correction during post-production. We get fantastic audio by using the Rode Lavalier Plus lavalier microphone. It really gives us excellent sound quality with a great signal-to-noise ratio. And what's cool about the SmartLav is that it's specifically designed to plug right into the analog jack of an iPhone. Now I have an older iPhone 4 that we use for this. Dad simply clips the microphone to his shirt and slips the iPhone into his pocket. We use Rode's accompanying iOS app called Rode Rec to capture the audio in WAV format. Now check this out though. Dad's audio actually gets recorded in 3 different places. We record the high quality audio from the SmartLav onto the iPhone 4. This is the final audio that you hear on the video. There is reference audio being recorded onto the main camera, the iPhone 7 Plus. This is used to help sync up the video in post-production. And thirdly, Dad is recording the audio direct to his PC using a Blue Yeti Studio USB microphone. He records this audio using an open source application called Audacity. Now for one of my all-time favorite pieces of production gear that we use, the Teleprompter. A teleprompter is a device that allows a presenter to read their notes or a script while maintaining direct eye contact with the audience. Since the speaker doesn't need to look down at their notes, they appear to be speaking spontaneously, much like I appear to be doing right now. I don't love this teleprompter simply because it's a great tool, but because Dad and I designed and built it from scratch. A teleprompter uses dielectric beam-splitting glass, which is basically a very high-quality two-way mirror, and it's mounted on a 45-degree angle. On the back side of the mirror is the camera looking through the glass at the talent. I have a magnetic mount that's stuck to the glass, and I simply attach the iPhone to the magnet. It's quick and easy. Now on the front mirrored side of the glass is the talent. We place an iPad face up right below the mirror. The screen of the iPad is reflected off the mirrored surface, which allows Dad to read his notes while looking directly into the camera. Now, I know what you're thinking. If you read something in a mirror, the text is backwards, and you're exactly right. So let's back up. Dad's notes are being fed to the iPad from his laptop using a lightning cable and an iOS app called Duet, which is an application designed to allow the iPad to act as a second monitor for a PC or a Mac. He has already created a slide presentation from his study notes using Microsoft PowerPoint. Now before going into show mode, he reverses the text on his laptop so that it displays backwards on the iPad. Now when he reads the reverse text in the mirror, it is reversed again and no longer backwards. It's really pretty cool and nowhere near as confusing as I just made it. Dad uses a Bluetooth wireless remote to control the laptop and advance the PowerPoint slides during his presentation. He's doing way more than just preparing and presenting his Bible study every week. He is fulfilling several technical positions in real time at the same time. It's quite impressive. There's just a couple more things Dad needs to do before we get started recording. First of all, he starts the audio recording software on his PC. Secondly, he launches his photo app on his computer and displays the same picture up on his computer monitor every week. What picture does he display? Wait for it. A bright fluorescent green picture. That's right. While Dad is doing his presentation, his computer monitor is a solid green color. By using a technique called Chroma Key in post-production, the green screen is replaced with the content that you see in the final video. It's the exact same technique that the news channels use for the weatherman or lady to present their weather information. That being said, it looks like we've got some nice weather heading our way for the weekend. Thanks, Mom. Now we get down to business. It's time to record the Bible study. Dad doesn't hear the intro music. This is all added in post. He simply looks at me and says, "You ready?" I say, "Yep," and away he goes.
Good evening.
Let me point out something else that has become a staple part of the opening. Dad always starts his presentation with what I call the bob spin. It's so subtle, you might not have noticed it before, but I'm pretty sure you've missed it for the last time. It looks something like this. But seriously, at this point, Dad's focus is solely on communicating the Bible study and the message that he feels led to present. There are no multiple takes, no interruptions. He simply presents from his heart in real time. When we are done with the first session, we save the recorded audio files, load the next PowerPoint presentation, and take a mandatory coffee break. Then we take it from the top and do it again to record the second Bible study. When we have 2 in the can, we call it a wrap and put Dad's office back to normal. But before the night is over, I make sure that I secure the production assets. I'll offload the audio and video files and store them on an external hard drive so they're safe. But at this point, I'm pretty much in a holding pattern because the next bit of workload is back on Dad's shoulders. While I have an opportunity to step away from the project for a couple of days, Dad's workload keeps on going. Dad handles the responsibility of creating the video content that will replace the green screen on his computer monitor. He creates the graphics that contain the Bible verses, the quotes from authors, commentary references, as well as gathering any photos and illustrations that are relevant to the lesson. Then he takes these various assets and edits them into a video that is synchronized perfectly with his presentation. Remember that I mentioned that Dad records the audio directly onto his PC? That is the audio he uses as a timing reference to create this video. When he has completed this video, he sends it to the cloud where it's stored in a shared folder on Dropbox. From the shared Dropbox folder, I'll grab the video file and add it to the other production assets on the hard drive. Now, I'm using Final Cut Pro to do the bulk of my editing. Using FCP's built-in audio synchronization feature, we're able to synchronize the master video from the iPhone, the master audio from the lavalier mic, and the monitor video that Dad has created. We'll use the audio from the lavalier and kill the audio on the other tracks. I'll do a quick tweak to the master audio.
Number 1,
I add a limiter and a little compression to make the volume of Dad's voice a little more consistent and raise the overall levels. Some EQ in the mid-range helps to slightly increase the vocal presence and make it a little easier to hear the words, especially when he's talking over music. It's at this point we replace the green screen with the content video. We take a copy of Dad's video layer and move it on top of the monitor video, and here comes the magic. We add a Chroma Key filter, and just like magic, the green disappears and we see the other video that is on the track beneath it. Since the monitor video on the lower track is still full frame, we'll need to reduce its size and adjust the perspective so it fits perfectly on the computer screen. At this point, we also need to update the title for this week's video. I have a title clip in FCP that I've already created with the different components. I simply change the title in the clip and change the font if necessary. Next, we'll add this title clip to the timeline track that contains Dad's monitor video and squish it down to fit into the computer monitor. Next, I'll export the timeline into a master composition 4K video file that contains the master audio, the master video, and the green screen monitor that has been replaced with Dad's accompanying video. The reason I do this is because now I switch from editing in Final Cut Pro to editing on an iPad. I tend to be pretty mobile on the weekends, and this allows me to do a chunk of the editing remotely. I just need 2 files. I need the master video that I just exported, and Dad's original monitor video that he uploaded to Dropbox. I copy both files to my iPad and import them into my favorite iOS editing app, LumaFusion. Once we've downloaded this media and created a new project in LumaFusion, we drop the main video clip onto the first track. We'll use the audio from this video track. Then we duplicate the same video onto track 2 and kill the audio. We just need the video from this clip. I mentioned earlier that we shot our original footage in 4K, but published the final product in 1080p. This is where that pays off. Let me demonstrate the concept. The end goal is to add visual interest to the viewer by switching between different camera angles rather than just staying on one static shot. In order for our talent to maintain the connection with the audience, I don't want a different camera angle. I just want to reframe the angle that I already have. There are several ways of accomplishing this. We could physically use 2 different cameras that are mounted side by side, with one of them zoomed into a tighter shot. This is actually how we shot earlier episodes when we were videotaping in the dining room. Another way would be to scale up the footage when we are editing to accomplish the close-up shot. But here's the downfall of this approach. We are currently producing our episodes at a resolution of 1080p, which is 1920 pixels wide by 1080 pixels tall. If our original footage is shot at 1080p, this works perfectly. However, when we scale that footage up in the editing process, we lose resolution. This results in a blurry or a pixelated image. But what if? What if we shot our footage in 4K, which is a resolution of 3840 by 2160. Now, without scaling our footage up at all, we can take a 1920 by 1080 size window and frame our view without losing any resolution. So basically, we're scaling down our footage to fit the window instead of scaling up, maintaining the quality and integrity of our original footage. So back in LumaFusion, when I drop our 4K video onto a 1080 timeline, it automatically fits the clip into our window. Now I am able to zoom in on track 2 by scaling and repositioning the video to effectively give me a second camera shot. I can now seamlessly cut between these 2 shots to add interest and focus to the presentation. For the third track, I bring in the monitor video and kill the audio from this clip. This clip is what we use to create the full screen cutaways to the scriptures and graphics. This footage is already in sync because Dad created this video in sync with his original audio. I simply work my way through the video and decide where I want the wide shot, the close-up shot, and where to cut to full screen graphics. Then I export a 1080p version of this edit to the cloud, where I can access it and download it back to Final Cut Pro on my desktop editing system. Now back in Final Cut Pro, we add final graphic touches and assemble the video for final export. Sometimes I take the opportunity to visually display a word with a unique spelling or pronunciation, or maybe to reinforce a definition. After we've added the final seasoning of graphics and visuals, we do the final assembly. Now, I say assembly because I have a handful of media assets that I've created once and then reuse each time. First, we add the lower thirds. I'll do the same thing with the closing lower third if it's appropriate. Sometimes I don't want anything distracting from Dad's final point, so I won't use a closing graphic.
Pretty deep stuff here, isn't there?
I also have a previously created clip that contains the music, the opening title sequence, and the end credits. I position these elements on the timeline so the timing works. We use the bob spin as the reference point for the intro.
Good evening.
The closing credits video was created by Dad on his PC, and they remain just as he exactly created them, almost 4 years ago. I used Dad's last word and the drum fill as the reference point for the outro.
It's been good being with you.
And now we're ready for final export and upload. Final Cut Pro has built-in functionality to upload directly to YouTube. I simply select the Biblical Insights preset in the Export Share menu. I add a few keywords and hit Publish. At this point, I will log into YouTube and add the title thumbnail we previously exported. The video uploads to YouTube as a private video, so it's not quite available for public viewing yet. But I'm pretty much done unless there's any issues with the video. So at this time, I'll let Dad know the video has been uploaded.
Oh, Dad, I am so sorry. I did not mean to scare you like that. I just wanted to let you know that I just got through uploading the video, so you and Mom can check it out, see if it's all right.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out and I'll let you know when I've posted it.
Cool. Well, at this point, Mom and Dad's going to watch the video, and if there's no issues with the video, Dad's going to go ahead and adjust the title appropriately, put a description in there, and then he's going to flip it to a public status so the viewers can see it on YouTube. There you go. That is the production workflow of Biblical Insights with Bob. If you guys have any questions about anything we talked about or want more details about anything, please do hit us up because I am always happy to talk tech. Dad, do you have anything else you want to say? Why don't you wrap us up?
Well, thank you for joining us this evening, and I hope this explanation of how we do all this gives you some insights. So thank you for joining us.